Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hannan, and welcome to elizabethhannan.com. This site is primarily just a little outpost that I set up because I get asked often what my background is and where I came from and what I do specifically, so I thought this little video would be a great way to outline it and answer all of those questions. So this site is primarily about me, and that's it. And that's probably why it won't change as much, because I spend a lot of time at jivefromthehive.com, which is my community blog, and interacting with people through other social platforms. So this one's probably going to get stagnant pretty quick. So if you're watching this, thank you. You just increased my site traffic. Just to get to the point, my bio is I've spent a dozen years doing SEO and SEM for fairly large companies across the industry. I got in real early and I've been doing it ever since. And the one thing it did teach me was you have to quantify your results in every aspect of what you do in online marketing. So coming from that background, I joined a couple boards, the American Marketing Association board and the Add to Phoenix board, and actually started two club entrepreneur chapters as well here in Phoenix. But I'm not locally here to Phoenix. I'm a New Yorker, and I bounce around between New York, Boston, San Francisco, and Phoenix whenever possible, because it does get hot here in the summer. Currently, my focus is presenting. I present nationally at this point, which I truly enjoy, so I'm always open to speaking to their large groups or small groups, either way. My focus in the industry right now is lead generation by using social tools primarily to build and manage communities. But this increased amount of setting up outposts around the different web basically drives traffic back to your site and builds awareness of your brand. And there's a percentage where most people that are out there in social platforms know who you are long before they've stumbled onto your website, which means they met an evangelist or they met someone else who's enthusiastic about your brand. Fortunately, it spreads pretty virally once you've set up the network for that. So I always encourage that. Another thing I also focus on is creating content that has a pulse, not letting things go stagnant. And by that I mean using all different mediums, whether it's podcasting, video casting, like this one, setting up a cute little landing site like mine that's primarily about me and so forth. You can also use context, writing, and a bunch of other mediums. And the technology will really dictate what you use at that time, but my focus is putting together a strategic roadmap that allows for that to happen once you have all your outposts set up, and you can generate the traffic you need that will translate statistically into your lead or sales funnel. So that's something else that I focus on. I also work with medium to large size companies setting up this type of engagement, teaching them about social media and social tools, because they really are just tools, and if you don't have a roadmap, none of them will function or it'll die out quickly. On the back end of social media, because I have an SEO background, it is possible to keep up with monitoring what you do and figuring what your ROI is in different models that will work for different companies. So because of that, I really won't touch anything I can't quantify the efforts down, so you'll never hear from me just throw up a page on Facebook or do a Twitter campaign without having the background behind it in which to push those people down your sales funnel. Otherwise, it's really just bad business practices. So in general, I work with medium to large size companies. I help them build brand awareness. I've been in the industry long enough to know what works and what doesn't work. And because of that, content is really king. I've spent about 12 years in the industry at this point in online marketing itself, so I've seen the trends come and go. Social media is definitely the way of the future. It's the way people are going to think. The mindset for business actually has to change, so that companies realize that people are looking for them in different areas, and you're totally flying blind if you're not monitoring what people are saying about you. And because if you respect and you step in and engage your community becomes much more allegiant to you, and therefore it's not just a quick sale, it's a relationship you've built. And trusting relationships are what sell different products and services. Finally, in general, work with businesses to decrease those business communication barriers that have stopped them in the past or only had their product exposed to a certain amount of people or a certain percentage of people on the web or in general. So I work with businesses to really break down those barriers, to realize what's going on around them in the social world, to realize how business is changing and how it isn't how it used to be 10 years ago. And I show them how to lock that down to metrics. On the very far end of my scope, I also work with legal departments realizing how social is going to affect them. I almost act as a negotiator between the people in their company, the people buying their product, and legal. So that's a whole variety of services, things that I offer you can contact me for. My email is farther down on this page, and just below there's a Get Resume page. There's a link to my blog where I talk about community building and branding and why that's the way the world's going. So feel free to stop by there and get tips or tricks. Finally, thanks for stopping by and checking out this video. I appreciate you watching it and getting to know me better. Feel free to connect any way you'd like. Gmail, email, Facebook, Twitter. It's all on the site. It's pretty easy to find. And if you'd like a resume, feel free to click down below. Thanks. Have a good night.